All right, we'll get started again. I just wanted to explain what the stuff that you found at your seats when you got back is. One is a discount code and coupon for your next seminar or conference, as well as a bit of a calendar that shows when they're having particular categories on the back. The second is a form that you can fill out if you have an interest in on-site training. A lot of companies find that they've got a particular business need that requires on-site training. There's enough of a need that instead of sending out a team of 10 or 12 people to one of these, they want to bring the trainer in instead. So you can look into that. And then the third thing, which is probably the most important, is there's an order form for the books and resources which you can find outside, which there's a variety of books out there. The two really most critical ones, as I mentioned earlier, are the search engine advertising, which is paid search, and the search engine visibility, which is organic search. So did questions pop up over lunch that require immediate assistance, or should we just continue to go?
Just like your opinion.
Sure.
Everybody knows the top 3 engines, maybe the top 4. What's your opinion of rounding out the top 10?
The slices, once you get below the top 5, are so thin that it's barely worth looking at. I mean, you've got the various InfoSpace properties, which is a pretty thin slice. Then you've got Mama.com. The rest of them become like they're often meta engines once you get further in there. The other sort of misleading thing about the way that graph is shown is that sometimes there may be a vertical portal engine. For example, I believe shopping.com probably beats InfoSpace, even though InfoSpace has its own pie slice. So it's not a perfect way of representing it. The reality is from the perspective of organic search, best practices for all the engines are the same, pretty much. There's minor nuances between the engines that you have to understand, but since you can't build an entirely separate site, you can't build a Google site, a Yahoo site, and an MSN site. You have to build one site for everybody. Those common best practices are really the key. So we'll talk about those shortly. When you're doing your keyword brainstorming using those tools, and again, if you want me to send you an email link to various keyword research tools, including a link to the Didit tool, we've got our own keyword research database. Just give me a card later. Think about those constituencies that we talked about earlier and how the kinds of things that they would search on might be different, including job seekers and existing employees. The research tactics when you do your keyword research, think about the phrases, think about all the different permutations of keywords, think about plurals and singulars. You can even think about misspellings. The misspellings are a bit challenging from the perspective of organic search because you don't want to misspell something on your site on purpose because then you look like an idiot. Then you lose the respect of your potential customers or your existing customers. So that's one of the biggest challenges, is that some misspellings are very common, and you sort of want to show up for them because the misspelling is very common, but you don't want to put the misspelling on your site. Something I recommend doing for that is if you have like a user discussion forum or a like user support forum or something like that, or a blog that allows comments, pretend you're an outside contributor and misspell it, right? Because that way it shows up on the page, but it doesn't look like you put it there. So that was a way of introducing misspellings into your site content without it looking like you're the one who misspelled it. Let's see. Think about the different kinds of thesauri you can use to find words which are similar in meaning but perhaps not identical. If you are a brand or carry brand name merchandise, include those in your keywords. Brands are very heavily searched, and having brands in your keyword list is really important. As far as data sources, your own search engine logs your own website logs will of course show everything that you already show up for. Of course, they won't show anything that you don't already show up for. So that's like looking just in your log files becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you won't learn everything you need to know about search. But where log files can be really important are in seasonal businesses. So if your business is extremely seasonal, having last year's log file can perhaps give you a little insight into what this year's seasonality will be. So if you're very holiday driven or season driven, just keep the data that you've got from last year. Your internal Marcom materials, external Marcom materials, getting all the different divisions and constituencies within your own company together to brainstorm about keywords can be really useful, because sometimes customer support people who are on the phone with your customers all the time might hear certain questions or might hear certain issues repeated over and over again. So it's just sometimes really useful to do, create like a one-time meeting, a brainstorming, over pizza or something. There are some tools you can use online. The first few of these are free. Well, Google and Yahoo have keyword tools. Word Tracker is a paid service. They're based out of the UK. In Alta Vista, they still have a little refine your search button, which actually shows you related searches. Same thing in Ask Jeeves. We've got a keyword suggestion tool. And then if you want to pay for keyword research, depending on how much you want to pay, you could consider ComScore, Hitwise. I think Nielsen is coming out with a keyword report as well. Actually, ComScore just recently, no, actually it was Hitwise, just recently released a lower price point keyword research solution that doesn't include all the features bundled into their regular Hitwise solution, but it's cheaper. It's still a couple $1,000, but their regular solutions in much more than that. So these are just some screenshots of what some keyword research looks like. Nice thing about the Overture Yahoo one is that it rank orders them. The challenge with that one is it doesn't show synonyms or related words, right? It's very stemmed off of whatever your core keyword is. So it won't show anything that is very closely related, like it won't show a synonym. Nice thing about Google is it shows synonymous concepts. So if you type lawyer into here, you just get lawyer phrases. If you type lawyer into Google, you get all the synonyms for lawyer included as well. And our internal tool actually also includes related keywords. Yep.
In regards to singular and plural words, do you just always go plural and then the singular is kind of included? Or do you
Most engines will automatically serve for both, right? Some of the second-tier engines won't, but most engines don't require you to buy separately the singular and the plural. Where that becomes important, because they'll automatically serve it for both, where that becomes important is the fact that when you do a search for something, it bolds the keyword that was searched upon, right? So you need to sort of know which is the more popular, the singular or the plural, because use the one that's more popular in your copy, because you'll get that word bolded in the search results.
With respect to the
Yep.
search suggestion tool, I've entered terms before that I know are getting searches, and entering it into that tool, sometimes it pulls up no suggestions found.
In this one?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, their minimum is to be on the radar is 25 searches a month within the Yahoo network, right? So that includes Yahoo and other sites that use Yahoo.
Okay.
So
And that's accurate?
it's not perfectly accurate. I've seen instances. It tends to be all this stuff is accurate to an order of magnitude. So it's fairly accurate. It gives you, it's directional. So did exactly 18,287 people type in SEO in February 2004? Well, maybe, maybe not. It's probably in the general ballpark. If you believe that something is searched hundreds and hundreds of times and doesn't show up in there at all, that would be a little strange.
Well, that was my point. In terms that we think at least got a couple of hundred searches, and oftentimes it comes up no suggestions.
Right. Usually it'll drill down, at least it used to drill down to 25 minimum. I could double check with them again now. 25 searches for that particular month. And again, it's a month by month thing. So, perhaps there aren't 25 or 50 people searching a month. Does it show up in the Google sandbox?
No, I haven't done that.
You haven't tested that one? All right. There was another question.
Why pay for it if you can get it for free?
Oh, you mean keyword research? It's just a matter of completeness. You can capture most of the stuff through the free tools. It's just some people, they're worried they're missing something, so they want to get down to another level. The other thing that some of the paid services, in particular, the Hitwise tool, it allows you to do competitive keyword research. So you can type in. I believe you can type in a domain name, and it'll show you what keywords are being used to find that domain name. So for competitive intelligence purposes, sometimes that gives you a little more confidence that you're getting the keywords that your competition might be using. And there are a variety of ways. For internal clients, we have access to data that does that as well. We actually license the ComScore data, the raw data files from ComScore, so that we can run our own complex queries against it, but that allows us to do what we call a keyword opportunity report against your competitive set. So that product doesn't exist separately, at least as far as I know, but it's similar to what the Hitwise product does. They've got, I think it's $1,500 a month or something like that, but I don't remember the exact price point for that. But usually it's because people have specific concerns with respect to competitive intelligence, or concerns that they might be missing something, which is why they might pay for the next step up. But the engines provide these free because it's obviously for the paid side, the more keywords you bid on, the more money they make. So they do try to provide this data. We've been pushing Overture, or Yahoo now, Yahoo Search, to provide the ability to change the month for the last 2 years, but they just haven't devoted the resources to it because some of our clients are so seasonal that I'd love to be able to go back to last September now, because right now in Yahoo it's probably still showing me either August data or might even be still showing me July data because it usually lags by a month and a half. So eventually they probably will because enough marketers are asking for it. Yep.
How does your tool differ? The Didit tool differ?
Our tool is based on webmaster-related data. So our keyword list was generated based on what webmasters felt were related concepts. So basically, I think there's 8 million sites that the data was culled from, and it just looks at what other words did website owners across the sphere believe were related to the word microwave, right? So the number one related keyword might be oven, right? Or it might be antenna, microwave antenna, microwave oven. So it learns those interrelationships by looking and analyzing a lot of sites. So it just looks at it from a different perspective. The other two are looking at searcher behavior. What our system does is looks at web marketer and webmaster understanding of the relationships of keywords. So I wanted to do an exercise, given that we've started to sort of brainstorm about keywords, where we take 4 or 5. Is it still on page 23? It might not be on page 23. That was the old workbook. So we'll do the keyword type, and there's a couple of exercises there. So why don't we take a couple minutes and fill out that section.